They're secondary up amongst the leaders in interceptions. It's kind of a group, seems like kind of can go after the ball and get themselves in position.
Yeah, they do a great job. I think they got 2 senior corners. That free safety's been around for a long time, and he plays the football as good as anyone I've seen. And I think they're very well coached, so it's going to be a huge challenge for us.
Justin said he thought his 2 interceptions in the end zone were bad decisions. Do you agree with that, or were they plays on them? When you go back and review those 2, what'd you show them? What do you tell them about kind of what you could have done different?
Yeah, I mean, one of them he could have gone somewhere else with the football, and but the thing he did do, it wasn't just Justin. That's the typical Justin. He puts it on himself. He gave a guy a chance to make a play, and so part of it's a guy holding the numbers and attacking the football, and so again, we feel like we can win a one-on-one matchup even if you go away from your primary read, and which he might have got off too fast, and we didn't win that battle. And could he have put the ball maybe a little bit higher and outspent? Yeah, but again, we could have helped him out with the rep too. So anytime you have errors like that, it seems like the quarterback takes way too much of the blame. I mean, it's the receiver. It's him having actually time where if that guy is covered, to step up and go to his second, third read too. So it's all 11 guys.
Is that the first one? The second one where he should have gone away from it when he had kind of the 2 guys
Mike,
down?
you got to come down. He's cold tough.
One of them, we had a shallow route that he could have gone to. That was the one he threw to Tony James. The guy just popped wide open in that concept because it's the first thing in your vision, then you're allowed to go to that guy. Okay? But that was the one we underthrew a little bit, and the running back did not come back and attack the ball like he should. And he's also got to hold the field more, so we have room to make the completion.
What's it like watching film with him? Because he's awfully critical of himself, like here, but just, when you're in that film session with him, is he able to kind of analyze things he did right versus, he's always very down on himself.
Well, he's his worst critic, but in a good way, to get better, because I think he's able to, if he makes a mistake, to move on and play the next play. And he showed that against Washington. He showed that against everybody, where if he makes a mistake, which everyone's going to do, he's able to, learn from it and move on and not let that affect his prep for the next play. So he does a great job of that. What amazes me when he watches film is just how intelligent he is and how he soaks things up. I've never been around a freshman, especially that position, that can pick up things the way he picks up things.
Is that the hardest thing to project for you guys in the recruiting trail, is the mental side? I imagine that's a little bit more difficult than even the physical side when you're
no question. Yeah, the two hardest things, you can see a guy's height and speed, and you can see their athletic ability on tape, but what's inside of them? How well are they going to learn? How do they handle adversity? That stuff's hard. You try to ask as many questions as you can, and we felt like we had pretty good insight on this guy just because he's been in the same city for his whole life, and we knew the family, and usually if the family is pretty together, there's a correlation that the kids got his stuff together. But it all worked out, and you just never know, and we were very lucky and fortunate for the way he is, not just as what you guys see, but the way he is off the field. That's what makes him a good player on the field, is the type of person he is off the field.
Utah's been a team over the years that led the conference in sacks, or near the top in sacks. Are they still like that this year, or maybe a little less so, or are they still getting after the quarterback?
They're still getting after the quarterback. I think they had, you guys probably know better than me, 6 or 7 sacks against Arizona State, and I think they're now leading our league in sacks, which we got a lot of good defenses in our league. So that's, their numbers kind of speak for themselves. They've always been good on defense. Coach Whittingham's been there a long time, and I got a tremendous amount of respect for those guys because, throughout the years, you go back as long as he's been there, they've always been in the top half of the conference. That's when they were in the Mountain West, and when they came up to the Pac-12, they do a great job.
I think they jumped Stanford in sacks, who obviously you guys played last week. How do you feel like you guys did against the Stanford pass rush?
Not good enough. I thought at times we did some good things, but the biggest thing going back to the Stanford game that jumps out was we turned the ball over in crucial times, and we didn't execute. We had some drop balls on third down, which are turnovers. We had some penalties again. So, and that's beating ourselves. Now, they did some good things. They won some one-on-one matchups. They're a good football team. But when we went back and looked at it, anytime you lose the turnover battle, I think it was 4-0 against a good football team, you got no chance. And that's something we've been good at until this game, and we just got to be better at it.
And I assume that because Justin's a freshman, that they're really going to come after him and try to pressure him much more and try to rattle him. Are you going to do anything special maybe to get him out of the pocket? And how do you anticipate that he'll handle that pass rush?
Sure. I think he'll handle it well because he's seen two pretty good pass rushes the last couple of weeks. You know, when we played, Arizona State, which blitzes a lot, and he's seen it against SC blitz a little bit more than they've been used to, and we've been giving them in practice every blitz look that they've showed this year. And so, to me, to be able to handle blitz, you got to be very composed and make quick decisions, and that's his strength. I've always thought the great quarterbacks enjoy blitzing because then you got one-on-one coverage out there, and I think that's his attitude. Bring on the blitz, and so I'm excited to see how he handles the pressure.
As far as turnovers, you mentioned was a stat that stood out last week. Is red zone efficiency on offense one that you look at after every game as well as a key?
Yeah, I mean that's something we studied in the off season. That's something that we look at every game. We spend a lot of time on it. We spend a whole practice to really focus on that. And up until this game, we'd been pretty good as far as scoring touchdowns in the red zone and not relying on field goals. And that's our biggest thing. Is when we get inside the 20-yard line, we want to score a touchdown. But this game, our turnovers, not only were they turnovers kill you in general, but we turned them over going in to score, and that just it killed us.
Going back to the USC game, are you able to clarify why Grant Carrington wasn't able to play the first two series?
No, I mean the bottom line is we're going to start the guys who deserve to start, and he's practicing hard, playing well, but those other guys are playing at a high level, and we're playing a lot of tight ends as well, and those guys are doing a good job. So we're always going to put who we think gives us the best chance to win, and it's just a matter of the guys we thought deserved to start.
Had nothing to do with the incident.
Now, we're handling the incident off the field, internally.